Bam had a historic moment. We will forever know. 83 points for Bam Adebayo. It goes Wilt. It goes Bam. It goes Kobe. We talk a whole bunch about Bam's 83-point game, plus a little bit of Wemby, a little bit of Jaylen Brown not getting the calls he wants. He got ejected in their game a couple of nights ago. The claw. We talk about Kawhi Leonard having the best season of his career in year 14.
Wow.
Which is unreal, KD. I mean, I love what he's doing right now. So we'll talk about that in a little bit, but make sure you're subscribing to the pod. Make sure you're subscribing to us on YouTube and go check out the app, WDFL Channel 18 locally in Miami-Dade and Broward counties. But go check out the app, download the app, show us some love there too. And with all that said, KD,
let's get into the action.
Let's start the show.
Inside the game. Yeah. Turn it up. Welcome to the crossover. Keon Doolin, 10-day tuning. Let's talk NBA. Crossover.
Historic night the other night. Funny enough, we had just finished talking about Bam, giving him a round of applause for being the only other Miami Heat to have 10K points in his career. And then Bam goes off for 83, a second place record in the NBA pantheon of points. KD, your thoughts on Bam Adebayo's 83? 83.
Yeah. It's a lot to digest because like the way we kind of view Bam as an energy player, a utility player, somebody who's really, dynamic on the defensive end, who's a lob threat, who's been able to extend his range from the 3-point line, in the last 2 seasons, I would say. But I think like he's like broken through a threshold that we didn't know he was capable of. See, because when you look at Bam's game, you just see the energy and the athleticism in his body. But if you look at the minutia, the details and his movements, his rhythms and his cadences, like the guy is super skilled on the ground. I heard Michael Beasley say like he's like a point forward.
Yeah.
And he has the ability to play off the bounce. That's why he's able to get into, dribble handoffs and, pass it and follow it and get into his roles really well. He's got a good round game. But I think he's taken another step in his career. And that's what you want to see. You want to see an all-star player be able to go to another level. Think about like Jimmy Butler and who he was as a utility player in Chicago. And kind of getting through that threshold in the playoffs, becoming playoff Jimmy and being a 20-point-a-night scorer. So you've seen examples of that, and I think Bam has hit a paradigm shift in his NBA career.
It's just been crazy, and I was watching that same night. That was Tuesday night. We had just recorded the day before, and it was going to be a game of, all right, the Wizards are in town. They're terrible. They're trying to lose. Like, let's see what happens. Heat'll probably win, and we'll keep it moving. And I was actually watching Spurs Celtics. Wemby was going off. Jaylen Brown got ejected. You see that?
I did.
We'll talk about that in a second. I want to put a pin in that. But Celtics, Spurs going back and forth. All of a sudden, my dad texts me, "Yo, Bam, 31 at." And I thought he was going to say at half. And I was like, first quarter. I was like, wait a second, what?
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, it's the Wizards. They'll probably, take him out, probably rest him a little bit. They're probably up crazy. And I kept looking. All right, he's got 43 at half. And I was like,
yeah,
damn.
Tony, you know what I noticed too, from the way that Spoelstra coached that game, and the way that his teammates, sacrificed for that moment, like that is the epitome of Heat culture.
Really? Because Tim McMahon on ESPN was saying that's the opposite, that Heat culture is completely done because of what they did.
No, absolutely not. Because like it's like this, like, right? Like that's a legacy franchise.
Yeah.
And he had an opportunity to make, a part of history. And they supported him in that. And they put the player first in that moment. They already took care of the result, which was the win, right? They were winning impressively, but they wanted to help Bam get over that hump. And that shows like it's not a one-way street. Like they care for their guys, even if they're chasing some individual accolades, as long as it's in the team construct. And all his teammates bought into that as well. It was a communal event.
There was a lot of people really upset about the way that the 83-point game was had. And it's funny to have the differences in timelines where you're looking at stuff and people being like, wow, what an incredible feat. To the other side saying, well, he shot 43 free throws.
Yeah.
And it's like all this back and forth of like, man, do people like hoops anymore? Do we love hoops? Because we like complaining a lot instead of actually watching the game. And I get it. Is it the most ethical way to get points? Probably not. But again, if you look through all the different games that have been that high, were they ever ethical?
Hey, what's going on, good people? My name is Keon Dooling, one half of the Crossover Show. I got a comment for you. I need you. I need you to like and subscribe to the channel. A lot of you guys are watching it, and we appreciate it. A lot of you guys are commenting, and we appreciate it. But we need you guys to like, share, follow the Crossover. Once again, my name is Keon Dooling. We need you. Yeah, I mean, look, if you've never played, you don't understand the theory of like feed the hot hand. Like if somebody has it going, like you seek them out, right? And like you don't have these moments all the time. You don't, you can't like dwell in the matrix. That was a moment and his team supported him with that. And like for me, I feel like Bam has broken through a different paradigm where I can't see him going back to being just a 19-point a night scorer. Like now I think he can be like more aggressive. He's like been unlocked to a certain degree. And I think he's got to kind of ride that momentum.
And I think that's an interesting point because when you think of our one kind of criticism of Bam would have been his aggressiveness on the offensive end. You talked about his ability to have so much more of a game than just a regular 6'9", 6'10" forward would have, right? When he was getting damn near triple teamed in the front court and was basically taking the ball out, would get through, be one-on-one with the guy, spin move, up and under, take it hard to the rack, Euro step out of the way. He was really putting stuff on full display. And of course they were hacking him because they couldn't do anything. They couldn't hold him, right? When you shoot 43 free throws, like that's insane.
Yeah, that's tough. He was applying pressure.
You can't stop him. You got to foul him, right? And it's just interesting when you start looking at the history of all these games, right? Lillard's got a 71-point game in there. Embiid's got a 70-point game. Luka's got a 70-point game.
D-Book, I think.
Book's got a 70-point game. Trying to think who else. Wilt's got a 70-point game. He's also got the 100-point game. And the Kobe 81-point game, you were in the league. Like you what would you, that night when either if you had a game or you guys were off or whatever and you put on the TV or you heard like, hey, Kobe's got 81. How was that like for you?
You know what? It's like you got to be in the moment. You got to like, just because you hoop and you play ball and that's how you make your living, like you were a fan of the game before you became a professional at the game.
Right.
And so like when you get an opportunity to see history or to see greatness and witness it in real time, like it's fulfilling as a sports fan. I think social media and the internet has, kind of highlighted a lot of negativity, but they're still watching as well. So it's
hate
just
watching it almost like.
Yeah, it's like you hating on it, but you're loving it at the same time. So I guess it feeds the algorithm. So I'm not mad at that. But like to see a guy like Bam, man, who's been, just getting better every year, who's giving himself to the team, who's a complete player, especially on the defensive end. His scoring has gotten better. His ability to stretch the floor has gotten better. Now, from a confidence standpoint, I think he's broken a certain threshold, and that's what separates like good players from great players. It's the confidence and the self-belief in yourself, and he has that belief from his teammates. So I think he's just going to continue to trend up now.
And funny enough, you see greats, legends of the game that are still active right now. KD had nothing but love for Bam. Giannis had nothing but love for Bam. And Giannis had actually an interesting point where he was talking about, wow, I saw when Bam had the 83 points, like that's incredible. And then one of the reporters in the scrum was like, yeah, he shot 43 free throws. What do you think about that? And he's like, man, to be honest, we won't remember that stat in 2 years, in 5 years, in 20 years. He's like, do you guys know Kobe's stat line outside of the 81? Do you know how many free throws he shot? Do you know this? Do you know that is about the particular game? And it's like, no, you just remember that Kobe had 81. And then in this, you're not going to remember, oh, Bam went 36 for 43 from the free throw line and, he shot the ball another 43 times from the field, that he had 86 shots. We're not going to remember that in 6 months, 9 months, 18 months. Like all this stuff is just condensed into what was the final number, 83.
Yeah, and he was applying pressure. It wasn't like they were doing a hack of Bam. It wasn't like they were just like fouling him as he was walking up the court because they were confident that he would miss a free throw.
Right.
He applied so much pressure, and like guys are capable of going off like this. Obviously not for 83 often,
right?
But like when it's a night, and no matter what you do, you got to try and foul them or trip them or do something or triple team them. And they tried all those things and they couldn't stop the fire.
And when he was going for that 31 and then 40 some odd in the first half, and then all of a sudden he was at 50 something, and it's like those buckets were gotten. He obviously drove to the hoop a lot and was able to get fouls and ones or whatever, but he was hitting threes.
Yeah.
He was hitting middies. He was in the lane, finishing, dunks, steals. Like he was doing it all in a way that it was like LeBron-esque when he had 61 against the then Bobcats back in the day.
Yeah, we're not gonna let them minimize this moment.
They've been trying to, though.
They have. I mean, I've heard a lot of the conversations around this. It's like sometimes when it comes from an unlikely place, people can hate on it, right? And they can say, "Oh, it's rigged. Oh, it was gambling. Oh, it was this. Oh, Asia was in the audience. Was in the building, right? You know, like, oh, his mom was there." Like, no, like I don't believe that this was fixed. I think he just had one of those nights.
Yeah.
And man,
the team helped him get there, right? Like you saw Spo, foul. Like let's get him the ball back
over the hump. Let's put him down in the history books.
What did you think of some of the stuff that was going around where if the Heat, because obviously there was a lot of blowback that night, right? I feel like it softened the last day or so. What did you think if the Heat and Spo and Bam would have been like, all right, let's get him to 81 and then take him out at 81, tying the record with Kobe, because now Kobe's, been passed, and like that's kind of honoring his legacy. What do you think about that?
No, I don't think you factor in Kobe's legacy when you're talking about a Miami Heat player, right? Let me tell you something. Kobe would not take his foot off the gas.
You know Kobe personally. Like,
listen, man, Kobe was trying to destroy you. If you talk about the Mamba mentality, you wouldn't want him to like dumb himself down. Kobe would, Bam. I heard Bam's quote. He said that Kobe would probably say, "Hey, let me go see you do it again," right? And that's the kind of impact that Kobe has. It's lasting, and man, I miss Kobe's energy. I really miss him being on this planet, man, because he inspired us, motivated us, encouraged us. He was always like engaging with us, especially after Colorado. Like Kobe was one of the most present people coming into the arenas.
In a way he wasn't prior to that, correct?
He wasn't like that prior. He was a little bit introverted and, kind of a recluse, so to speak. But man, like kind of going through that and coming out the other side, I think he like understood who he was becoming and this impact that he would have on people. Hey man, I miss the Mamba challenges that he would do. And he would, hey, Giannis, I'm calling you, like I miss that. I miss his energy.
Yeah. You would figure that Bam, if he was alive today, he would be happy that Bam broke the 81.
Absolutely. For sure. I mean, the game is growing, man. And look, we talk about like all these international players, but that is a homegrown American talent, right? Straight out of the South, straight out of the University of Kentucky, you know what I mean? Molded down here in Miami. They took him to another level. And man, when I look in his comments and I see D Wade and I see Udonis and I see, all these people who have had an impact or input in his growth and development, man, they're all just so proud and happy for him. And I am too. Bam, I'm glad you did that down here in South Florida. You will go down in history, buddy.
Easily. Easily. We talked about it that day too, when we talked about him being the only other 10K point scorer. Like that 13 is going to be in the rafters, not just for Marino. Yeah. Like it's going to be Bam up there one day, Olympian, 83-point game. Like we talk about that very flippantly just because, and bro, you played in the NBA, KD. What was the highest points that you scored in an NBA game? 25. Okay. Yeah. Let's do them. How many 25s are there in 83?
You know what I mean? You'll need at least 3 of them, and then you'll have to carry the rest. You have to carry the rest.
Can you just put into perspective, you've been in the zone, you've been unconscious on nights where it's like, oh, I got it tonight, right? Whether my handle's fire, my shot, whatever it is, to get to 83 points.
Yeah. I've never, had a game that I played, even being in the zone where I dropped more than 50 points, even in youth
high school,
basketball,
college, youth, whatever.
No, I never dropped 50. I never, maybe 40 a couple times, but like it's so difficult to score. It is so difficult to score. Yeah, man, I'm kind of speechless. Yeah, like 83 points in a game. It's a storybook.
It sounds fake.
Yeah,
it sounds fake. And like, look how many great, unbelievable, legendary talents have picked up a basketball.
Yeah,
that have never scored 70, 75.
Yeah.
We're talking about 83 points. Like LeBron, MJ, like go down the list.
Yeah.
KD.
Yeah.
Cap.
I know.
It's like
I know.
Magic,
It's
Bird,
unbelievable, man.
all bam, 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 all that, and then Bam sits in the history books forever. Wilt, Bam, Kobe.
I think why people are hating because they didn't expect it to be him to do that, right? And he was an unlikely candidate for the masses, and they're having a hard time digesting it.
It's just an incredible feat, man. We saw history, and so at that point I was like, all right, let me switch over because the Spurs Celtics game was good too.
Yeah, for sure.
And then it was like, all right, let me catch the second half of what's going on with Bam and them, and then like, yeah, just towards the end. It is what it is, man. You're trying to chase a record. You're not gonna. The Wizards are already saying that they're not gonna. They're waving the white flag.
Oh, for
From
sure.
walking into the building, they're waving the white flag.
For sure.
You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes, and you get put 83 on your head, and that's it. And you got to eat that.
Absolutely. I mean, think about what the Wizards did, man. I mean, look, Sar had, 28 points?
Yeah, he was going shot for shot with Bam in the first half.
So, I mean, I think the Wizards are putting themselves in a unique position because, like, when you got AD, you got Trey, you got these young guys, like, developing and getting an opportunity to play. They're going to be a problem next season.
Yeah, but get a decent pick. Like, all of a sudden.
They're going to be nice.
I agree.
Yeah,
they got the front office is heading in the right direction with some of the pieces and the moves that they're making. But, man, I was going to clap it up again for Bam. Just
shout out to Bam. We're so proud of you, champ.
Incredible history book. Just once in a lifetime thing. Like, it took us 2006, to us 20 years to see somebody score 80 again. Yeah. And who knows in the next 20 what we're going to see. So,
it'll be something. We'll see.
Going over to that Celtics game, a bunch of good games tonight. We got the Nuggets and the Spurs doing battle. We got the Celtics and the Thunder playing. But I do want to get to that little push on the sidelines that got JB ejected. Jaylen Brown got kicked out of that game. Double tech. Kind of went crazy on the ref who didn't make the call. Clear push out. Your thought on him getting ejected and what Boston's looking like? Because obviously Jason Tatum coming online a little bit more. Didn't have a great game against the Spurs. And then what's his treat for playing the Spurs? Boom, you get the Thunder right after.
Yeah, it's a part of it. I'm still watching him and monitoring his movements and his body.
How'd you feel like he played? Because he missed a lot of shots.
Yeah, like the legs are going to be the last thing to kind of come back. Like once your conditioning, your cardio gets a little bit better, your legs will get a little bit stronger. Obviously it's JT, so he's gonna have like a formidable defender on him. So he'll have to, like, I talked about this last week, that he's gonna, like, his body is gonna have an adjustment once the adrenaline kind of shifts down a little bit. But it was a foul. JB definitely got fouled. And I don't think like his outburst was just about the moment. I think it's about the lack of respect that he's been getting, the lack of calls that he doesn't get. And the perception that the league and the game has around him. And so I think he just wanted to, take that opportunity to make it known.
To let people know?
Yeah, like, come on. Like that was a noticeable foul.
Right.
Right? You got some people who got nicknames as the foul merchant. Like, there's guys who get to the free throw line a lot, but it was a very obvious hand check. And when you see the hand extend.
And push him out of bounds.
Yeah, the rules, state that
you can't do that.
That's a foul, right? So I think it put the refs on the spot a little bit. So I think that's why they kind of got him out of there. But yeah, like they pick and choose, who can get those certain calls, and that's part of the human element of the game.
Wemby on the other side had 39. They play the Nuggets tonight.
Yeah, he's trending. He's trending.
Boy,
yeah, he's trending. He's going up. It's up with him.
Hey. I'm trying to, and I'm asking people whether on the Levitard show or here, I'm trying to figure out what is Wemby's flaw.
What is his flaw?
And I'm gonna preface that by saying we asked Coach Stan Van Gundy, who you obviously know, and Coach said, I think you can turn him over easily. He's got a high dribble. He sometimes gets in trouble with his ability to create turnovers. And I'm like, man, that's your one flaw, that in 2 or 3 years in the league that you're kind of turnover prone, which is kind of natural in the adjustment of playing in the NBA from all the other leagues that you're in. But that's it. Yeah. We're talking about turnovers. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, look, Stan Van, his basketball philosophy is almost gospel to me. So I'm always let Stan have that. That's my OG. But if there's, aesthetically, just looking at Wemby's game, two things I think that he could get better at is he could get stronger, right? I think that's something that comes, with age and experience. And then the second thing is that, like, he's just got to go through the process, and he's got to learn how to be a champion. And that comes with time. That comes with perseverance. That comes with winning the conference. That comes with winning a championship and then being able to repeat that cycle. So some of the things that he needs is just experience. He could get stronger, especially, from his lower body, but he's gotten stronger.
Yeah.
Right. And he's gotten more flexible and he's gotten more durable. And you see his mean streak and his motor actually like elevating that much more. It's very difficult to find flaws in Wemby's game.
Which is crazy because he's 3 years in the NBA.
I really don't see a flaw. Even his, lack of strength, it's for his body type. He's not going to be a bruiser. He's a finesse. He's like like Kevin Durant and Jamal Crawford with the slender build, but he's just like almost 8'5".
It's hard to put muscle on that kind of frame.
Yeah.
Like the bigger you are, the taller you are, the lanky. Like even if he puts on 20 pounds of muscle, you won't see it.
Yeah.
But he'll feel it. And then you'll see the repercussions of that when people are trying to body him and they're bouncing off him, and then he's back into the basket, and all of a sudden you see somebody shoot back. Yeah. That's where you'll see that muscle gain. Yeah. Not in his frame because he's just not built that way. Yeah. He's built like an alien.
Yeah, and then he doesn't need to like gain weight because like you don't know how durable somebody with that body style can be.
If you add
he
pounds,
just needs to really get stronger, more flexible, more durable, get his core strength. Kick
the ball out the hoop. I mean, pretty flexible.
I know.
How much more flexible? Man does a split at 7'6".
I know. Yeah.
Come on.
I mean, we're nitpicking.
That's my point. That's my point, right? Like we're nitpicking. Can he get stronger as a flaw?
Yeah.
Every shooting, dribbling, back to the basket, defense. He's a defensive player of the year every year he plays.
Every young player needs to get stronger.
Facts.
Right? And it's not bigger. Sometimes it's like strength comes from like core. Sometimes you might have to strengthen your glutes. Sometimes you might have to, get your feet stronger, your hands stronger. So that you can grip things.
Your grip, right? Yep.
You got to master recovery because there's a lot of games and things like that, and you don't want
especially coming off of injury. He had the
absolutely
the blood clot too.
There's a lot of things that he can work on aren't really necessarily on the court. Those are off the court things that he needs to work on. He's working on them.
No, I'm sure he is. It's just that's the one thing I was thinking. I was like, man, you can't find a flaw with this guy. It's crazy. To the point that we were talking about with Bam meeting the threshold and like guys who got to a certain point, and maybe it wasn't points that pushed them there, but it was just stepping into a new leadership role. And when you talk about Jimmy, when it was that D Rose, Joakim Noah, like that version of the Bulls, where Jimmy was like a piece. Luol Deng, but like he was a piece, but he was like a bench guy. He came in, did the dirty work, like you said, and Tibbs was like, wait a second, like this guy, there's something here.
Yeah.
And obviously he turned into what he became. And you saying about Bam doing that, kind of. We were talking before the show. Kawhi was very much like that. Where
Kawhi was in
remember he got traded, right? He was supposed to be on Indiana. They traded him over to San Antonio, and then he started playing. All of a sudden, everybody's like, "Whoa, this guy is the best defender in the league." So much so when Braun, at the peak of his powers with the big three, looked over his shoulder and saw Kawhi coming and said, "Damn."
Yeah.
And Kawhi was what, 20, 21, 22 years old?
Yeah. Kawhi
and he's having his best season, KD, after 14 years in the NBA. He's having his best season this year, 50, 40, 90. They were how many games under 500? Now over 500, just scored 153 points. He went 45. He shot 15 to 20 from the floor. Like, who is this guy?
Yeah, he's the claw. I mean, he's the claw.
This guy?
And think about like the terms and the conditions that he's doing this under.
Right.
There's a lot of things that are going on behind the scenes that have a real impact on him and his family and the organization. And for years, we've talked about his durability or lack thereof, and he has showed up and showed out this year. Like Kawhi has, been everything and more for that Clippers organization. Tyronn Lue has done a masterful job of, allowing him to listen to his body and protecting him and shielding him from certain things. But yeah, it's fun to watch the Claw, man. He's so funny in his sense of humor because he's so quiet, right? And like just to see him from a leadership standpoint, obviously getting Darius Garland, there's a curb that they have to like kind of, work through. Out, But what are they 5-0 since he's been there? Something like that.
I mean, they get rid of Harden, they get rid of Zubats.
Yeah.
And then Kawhi goes crazy and now they're above 500 for the first time all season.
Yeah. But most people will tell you, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise, like when Kawhi is healthy, he was known as being a top 3 to top 5 player for the last like umpteen years when he's healthy.
Bro, in 19 when he took Toronto to the playoffs and took them to the championship and beat the big three, obviously there was a lot of injuries there between, I think Clay got hurt KD tore his Achilles in that same series. Like there was a lot there, but the fact that he put Toronto on his back.
Yeah, all the stars aligned.
Let's go.
All the stars
he was
aligned.
the best player in the league that season.
Yeah, and I ain't mad at that. I'm not mad at that. And I'm telling you, like most guys know that. It's just he's had injuries. Right. He's got he's got some issues that like he's gonna have to grapple with.
Yep.
Like after he finishes playing, he's still gonna have to like live with, those things in his body. So like big shout out to Kawhi, man, the Claw and the Clippers and kind of the work that they're putting in under all the circumstances.
Yeah, again, in those circumstances, obviously there's a lot. My colleague Pablo Torre with Meadowlark has been doing crazy investigations, crazy work, doing a lot of stuff there with the aspiration situation. Adam Silver hasn't really come out and said anything about it as of now. We're speculating kind of going into the future here after the season. Figure if the Clippers maybe make the play and maybe don't, all of a sudden that now leaves them open to kind of what the next steps are. And from your professional hypothesis, what would you think would happen or would be the punishment? Is it a Kawhi only situation? Is it a Ballmer only situation? Is it a both situation? Does Adam Silver come down and lay the hammer?
Yeah, I don't know if you can, Adam, that's why Adam gets paid the big bucks. Yep. But Adam is, man, he's wise, he's smart, he's been around quite a bit. He's a lot tougher than people give him credit for. Look, man, you got to be real careful because if you like kind of peel back some of the layers in the onion, I could almost assure you that there are other teams who have been circumventing the cap,
doing a little something.
Yeah, and in multiple different ways. And so, like, you don't necessarily want to kind of go down that rabbit hole. I think they've done a great job systemically with raising the cap up, so you can't have a Donald Sterling in there, somebody who won't pay
players, right?
Like, so.
As you know personally.
Yeah. So with that being said, I think what Adam is going to have to do right here is he's going to have to navigate the situation. Obviously check the temperament and the temperature of all the NBA owners and how they view it.
Big point.
Because ultimately he works for them, and so we'll have to see how that goes. But look, if it's not illegal, you know what I mean? If it's no crimes committed, I would say, leave it alone.
Sweep this one under the rug a little bit.
Sweep that shit under the rug. We got a golden goose right now. The league is still growing. Like nothing to see here. Nothing to see here.
Look over there. We don't know what's going on over here.
Nothing to see here. And then Ballmer is he's an amazing owner.
Yeah.
Right? And
he built the stadium. No public funding, no nothing. He said, this is my money. I'm going to build it right here in Inglewood. We're done.
Absolutely. And so,
from all intents and purposes, it's an incredible stadium.
It is.
Everybody who went to All-Star Weekend was like, yo, Intuit Dome is crazy.
Yeah. It's an amazing facility. So, we'll have to see how it plays out, but I'm just praying and hoping for the best.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, if he comes down to that point though, KD, like you got to have equal punishment, right? It can't be, I don't want to see something where it's Kawhi spending 50 games, suspended 80 games, suspended the season, and then Ballmer doesn't get anything, right? Like there needs to be a little bit of equity when it comes to the punishment, right? Yeah. If we did the crime together, all of a sudden they give me all the time and then you walk. Like that can't happen.
I mean, if in a perfect world, I don't know if that's the right word to use or the right phrase to use, but Ballmer should take full responsibility for it because ultimately, the players are reacting, right?
To the options that are available to them.
To the options that are available, and they felt it was so necessary that they would create a company and make it happen. But you don't want to penalize Ballmer too much because, like,
it sets a bad precedent for everybody else.
He brings a great deal to the game. So you can fine him, right? The best way to like kind of hurt somebody with that much money is to like maybe take a piece of their money, slap them on the wrist and say, hey, you know what? Now let's make sure this never happens again. The next time somebody does it, it's going to be very punitive.
It's going to be very interesting come summertime, free agency around the corner with Ballmer, with aspiration, with all the stuff that's happening there with Pablo Torre continues to drop.
Yeah, Pablo is not letting up.
Pablo's got the deep bag.
He's
like Santa Claus for aspiration. He said, hold up, you think I'm done? I got one more. Here you go. Pop.
Man, Pablo, man, hey, we need this game now. We got to have something to cover, champ.
Come on, Pablo, do you love the NBA? Pablo, it seems like you don't.
No, he does. He's just trying to protect the integrity of the game. And I think we need reporters like that who do investigative reporting and things like that. So his place is necessary and he's taking his place. He's doing a fantastic job with the story.
All right, fam. That's it for us. Next week, back with another 2-pack of the crossover. A little quick, like Timmy Hardaway used to do that double cross. Bing, bing. BB, the Texas two-step, as you call it?
Yeah,
UTEP two-step?
UTEP two-step.
The UTEP
Hey,
two-step.
Timmy had an unfair advantage because, you know, my boy
He got a
Timmy
little
had the
bow-legged.
knees, so he didn't even have to really open his leg. He could just bing it. That was a bad man, too.
You got some Timmy stories or not?
I do not.
Okay.
I do not.
You don't? Or
No, I do not.
Okay, all right. All right, that's the crossover right there. NBA veteran Keon Dooley. Go check him out at Keon Dooley. You can check me out at 10Day Tony across all socials. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're watching, not subscribing, please subscribe. Or he's going to have to tell a Tim Hardaway story.
Come on now.
And he doesn't want to.
I don't want to do it.
Don't do it. Don't make him do it. If you subscribe, he may do it. So if you subscribe, again, keep your eye out. But show us some love, KD. It's just a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah, man.
Hoops is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, man. Congrats again to Bam, man.
Yeah, 83 points. 83 points for Bam. Legendary.
Inside the game. Yeah. Turn it up. Welcome to the crossover. Keon Dooley, 10-day tuning. Let's talk NBA.